What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking about Major League Back to the Minors. So this movie, I didn't even know it existed for the longest time. I knew about the first Major League, I knew about the second one, but I never even knew there was a third Major League until like a few years ago I found out about this. And ever since I found out about it, I've been curious. I'm like, oh, there's a third one? Let me check it out. And yeah, I thought it was going to be the type of deal where it's more of like a standalone sequel. That's what I thought, and that's pretty much what it is. It's you know, even though the story is similar to the story of part one and two, it's focusing on a different team. You have like a mainly different cast of characters, so it is more of a standalone, which I thought initially, but yeah, that wasn't a problem for me. Overall, I thought this movie was good. It, you know, I went in just totally blind, didn't watch a trailer. I didn't really read up on this movie at all. I just went in blind, checked it out, and yeah, I don't think it was a bad movie at all. It was pretty darn enjoyable. So there you go. Jumping into a plot summary, the movie focuses on this guy, Gus Cantrell, and he's a minor league baseball player, and he's getting towards the end of his career. He's putting like dry ice on the ball. Like he does like this frozen ball trick so they can't hit it. Like his arm is shot. He's getting a little bit older, so yeah, his career is pretty much over. And Roger Dorn comes to him and he says, "Hey, I have this opportunity. You can manage this minor league team, the Buzz." And initially, he's kind of reluctant. He's like, "I don't know." Like he's kind of scared, and he's never really managed, so he's kind of reluctant. But he agrees to manage the team, and it's like the other movies. At first, the team is a complete disaster. All the players are just absolute characters. They're super zany, and initially stuff's not going well. But then with his leadership, the team starts to come along, and he has this meeting with Roger Dorn, and there's this coach there for the Minnesota Twins, and basically Gus like gets into a fight with the coach, and he's like, "You know what? Let me play your team." Like they have this bet, and he's like, let's play your team. And it's like, okay. So then they play, the minor league team against the major league team, but the lights go out and it just ends in a tie, and that's that. And then, after that, the team actually, the Buzz, Gus's team, they start to struggle, and basically they are able to turn things around once again, and Gus is being interviewed, and during the interview, he calls out the Minnesota Twins coach again, and in the third act, the two teams, the minor league team and the major league team, face off against each other again, and yeah, that's the basic plot summary. So yeah, kind of a different concept, kind of a interesting concept, but a lot of the themes that were present in the other two movies were present here as well. So there you go. First things first, I'm going to get into some returning characters. So I already mentioned Dorn. He's alleged he was in part 1 and 2. His character is pretty much the same, where he's kind of this uppity, bougie, rich guy. He's owning teams, he's balling out, cashing out, he's living luxuriously. He has giant paintings of himself. So yeah, I like Dorn in this. His character has not changed, which I love. He was great. Serrano comes back in this a little bit later on, and I was like, what? Yeah, Serrano's in this. He's great. I think he's back, because he was on the voodoo initially, and then he went to Buddhism. I think in this, he's back on the voodoo, or I don't know. He's on some different spiritual, lyrical, miracle stuff. But yeah, I mean, it's the same Serrano we know and love. He's coming through like wearing crazy outfits. His bat, he's got this like crazy bat. It almost looks like some voodoo bat or something like that, and he's doing all kinds of crazy stuff. and his buddy from the last movie, Isiro Tanaka. I'm probably butchering that. They call him Taka Tanaka in this, or just Taka, which that's easier to say. So yeah, Taka from the previous film, the fielder who would catch balls with his bare hands, the Asian gentleman, he's back, and he was kind of buddies with Serrano in the last one. They have that same dynamic in this where they're buddies. They were kind of butting heads a little bit in part two, but in this one, they're just like they're like best friends in this. And, like I said, Serrano, he's kind of back on his spiritual, lyrical, miracle stuff. Taka is also on that. So the thing that they do in this movie is they put this like black sheet over their head, and Serrano, he says that he's enlightened. So basically he puts this black sheet over his head to clear his mind. So like whenever he's walking up to the plate, he has to have someone walk him because he puts this sheet over his head to clear his mind. But it's like it almost gives him like a sixth sense. He's like hyper aware. Like Taka he'll like Serrano will be wearing the black cloak, or not the black cloak, the black sheet over his face, and then like Taka will throw a ball at his face, and Serrano will just catch it without even seeing it, and it's like he can see everything without even seeing it because he's so enlightened and he's so calm and focused, and he's not worried about anything. He's just so present in the moment. And speaking of another character who returns, Bob Uecker's character Harry Doyle, the announcer, returns, and there's one instance later on in the movie where he puts the black sheet over his head, and he's like he's doing commentary for the game, and he's getting everything spot on. And there's like the Twins announcer, him and Harry Doyle, they kind of butt heads, and he's just like throughout the movie, but he's just looking at him like, what the heck, like, is this guy some like, does he have superpowers or whatever? But he thinks Harry Doyle and the Buzz are like a bunch of weirdos, the other announcer. So yeah, it's cool that Bob Uecker's character came back. It's cool that Taka came back, and then the last character that is a returning character is Rube, the catcher. And yeah, he once again he can't throw, but he can catch really well, and he's still having problems. But he's the same. He's on the same stuff where he's just got that wholesome vibe. He's kind of a little bit naive. So yeah, I liked him in part two. He really got the people going, so it was cool to see him back. And if you're wondering like why is Serrano in the minors? Why is Taka in the minors? Why is Rube in the minors? So Rube is in the minors because he couldn't get that throwing problem down. Serrano's back in the minors because he just took like a long break from baseball. So I mean, he can't just go back to the majors. And then Taka, he was pretty much like retired from baseball. He owned some putt golf place, but he didn't feel fulfilled, so he's like, let me go back into baseball. Like I need a little break from all this putt golf stuff. So yeah, that's why these gentlemen are back in the minors. But anyways, that's all the returning characters and the returning cast. And I'm glad that even though this is a standalone sequel, we did have some returning characters, and that it kind of, I don't know, it made it actually feel like a sequel. So that was great. So here's the deal. The reason I like this is I thought the story was great. It was similar to the other movies where, it's like a great underdog story. It focuses on leadership, development, and it has that same tone where, it's really comedic and it has this goofy comedy, but then, there is some good drama as well. It's like a good blend, so it has the same tone as the previous two. I think the story was fantastic in this, and I thought it was an interesting concept where, you have this minor league team going up against a major league team. That was a super unique concept, and that was really interesting. I was like, I don't know, got me amped up. I was pretty invested. So yeah, the story was great. The tone was in line with the other movies. The only problem that I had, the only problems that I had with the movie is um, a lot of the newer characters were not as memorable to me as the other characters. And I feel like the comedy in this was good, but it was definitely a step down from part one and two. It wasn't, once again, it just wasn't as memorable. So, yeah, and okay, the quality of the movie, it felt like a step down. Like how, okay, in this movie, the previous movies were set, in the majors. This one's like a minor league team, not set, but like they were focused on major league teams. This one's focusing on minor league teams. Like it's kind of funny because it's like a step down in terms of quality of players, but it's like the overall movie feels like a step down in quality. Like initially, when I looked into this movie, like I said, I didn't look into it too much, but initially when I looked into it, I saw pictures of it. I thought this was direct to video. I thought it was like one of the American Pie Presents movies where it's almost like a spin-off. Like it's in the franchise, but it's like pretty much totally different cast. You have a couple, one or two returning characters, and it's some direct to video spin-off. Like it did feel direct to video when I was watching it. The whole time I thought it was direct to video because the quality is lower. Like the locations, mainly like the locations and the look, and like the caliber of actors aren't as good. There's not like the other ones were like A-listers. This one there are some pretty notable actors, and you have some returning people, but like a lot of the actors were like people I've never seen. A lot of the settings and the locations seemed like a little bit of a step down. So I thought it was direct to video. Yeah, but that's like another thing that I'm saying is like a negative. Like the quality did seem to drop off a little bit in this one, and I thought it was direct to video, but it was not. It actually went to theaters, and the budget wasn't even that much lower than the previous one. So the budget for part two was 25 mil. This was 18 mil, which that's a lot, because this was, I mean, for like a Hollywood movie, that's not a lot, but this came out in 1998. Like for 1998, I feel like you could still make like a decent movie for 18 mil. Now movies are like, every movie is like 80 mil now or whatever, but like 18 mil is like, I feel like that's pretty decent budget. Like I feel like on the low end, like, well, yeah, maybe like 10 mil is low for a movie. So yeah, I guess 18 is lower, but that doesn't seem that low to me, and it's like this did go to theater. So that was kind of like jarring, because I always thought this was like a direct to DVD spinoff, but I got a theatrical run and a pretty decent budget. So yeah, that's kind of crazy. But yeah, those were the couple things that brought this movie down for me. But like I said, overall I think it's good. The story was great, and the comedy was great. Even though it wasn't as good, there were a lot of great things, and I did not dislike this movie by any means. I thought it was good. It was a good follow-up. I got to get into another negative though. So something that I like about all these movies is the development of the players. All these players, they start out as total disasters. They all have this one fatal flaw, like Rube can't throw, Wild Thing didn't have control. I know he's not in this movie, but that's like just an example from the other ones. In this one, the development of all the players, it seemed rushed, and like they didn't focus on like the development of every single person as much as the other movies. So Rube in this, he still can't throw, and then Gus is just like, hey, do you have any skills outside of baseball? And he's like, no, I don't have any skills. And he's like, okay, well you better throw to first or you're off this team. And then, like, that did it, and he could just like throw well after that. Like it was so quick, and then there's this like ballerina guy, and he couldn't field, like he couldn't catch well. So then Gus just like gave him an oven mitt. He's like, I want you to like really feel the ball. Like it was that one was good. The Rube thing was kind of rushed. It's like he just told him that he's gonna lose his job, and then he just immediately can throw well. Like that felt kind of rushed to me. So yeah, even though this movie did focus on, you know, these people like getting over their quirks and developing their weaknesses, that section did seem rushed compared to the other movies. Like they didn't spend as much time on that section, which is a little unfortunate. But ending on a positive here, something that I really did like about the movie was the emphasis on teamwork. That's what Gus is always talking about. He's like, yeah, so what if you have a couple star players, if you have a couple, you know, big shots, it's like, yeah, you could win games, but it's like there's no longevity. He's like, you don't need the best guys, you just need to work as a team, and like then you'll have success. And he's like, you know what, guys, I want you, you know, to work as a team and all teach each other and learn from each other. And he kind of he kind of has like the team teaching themselves. So he like gives the team that speech, and then they're all kind of just teaching each other little tidbits, so, which I really like, because I feel like that's kind of how I look at a lot of stuff, where I'm always, you know, wanting to learn new stuff. I always want to better myself. Like if I'm interested in stocks or whatever, like I want to ask someone, like if I know someone who knows about stocks, like coach me, put me on. Like at my job I had like a mentor, and you know, she kind of put me on and like taught me everything I know. So it's like I'm always looking to learn new stuff, and I feel I always said this, like you could learn something from anyone. Like there could be some, you know, crusty bum at the end of the street like sipping some, I don't know, some like Natty Daddy or something, and it's like that fool could like give you like the most profound life advice. Like you never know. So it's like I feel like you got to have that mindset, like that growth mindset, where it's like you could learn something from anyone, like no matter what position you're in too. Like say you're the boss, like you could learn from like the lowest person. You know what I mean? It's like people who are like, oh, I know everything, or I'm at this position, like I can't learn anything from someone at that position. It's like I personally don't subscribe to that. Like it's like I have the idea like I could learn something from anyone. Like me, I need all the help I can get. Like I'm a stupid dummy, you know what I mean? So it's like shit, I'm trying to like absorb shit like a sponge. Like I'm trying to, you know, I'm if anyone can put me on, like I'm trying to get put on, because I don't know. I'm just like walking through life like I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. So it's like if someone kind of knows what the fuck they're doing, like, and they can put me on, I'm all for it. So I really like that whole teamwork angle, and yeah, they're just all, any little info that they have, they're giving it to their other teammates. One specific example that I liked is, or one specific example that I'm gonna give is there are these two pitchers. There's this guy Doc, and he can't throw a fastball to save his life, but he's really good at, you know, other pitches. And there's this younger guy Hog. He can throw the heat. Like I'm pretty sure he can throw 100 miles an hour, but that's his only pitch. And Doc just sits down with him and he's like teaching him how to throw a curveball, and he says something, he's like velocity and speed, and like he's saying it like almost like a math equation, and then it just like it's like a light bulb goes off in Hog's head. He's like, it's just if I lower the velocity, then I can add more momentum or movement or whatever. And yeah, like I just like that they're all kind of learning from each other, bouncing ideas off each other, and you know, it's like Gus doesn't always have to teach them everything. It's like because they're teaching each other. So yeah, I really like that teamwork aspect and that whole, you know, learning aspect of the movie. So that's a nice little positive to end on. In terms of a recommendation, I'm telling you what, I would recommend this. Is it, you know, as memorable, as iconic as part 1 and part 2? No. But is it a good baseball movie? I think it is. So I would definitely recommend Major League Back to the Minors. Solid movie. I think it's at least worth one watch if you're a fan of the franchise. This is a short. It's a short franchise. It's 3 movies. You might as well watch the third one. So, yeah, that's been my recommendation, and that has been my review. Thank you all for watching, and peace out.